Welcome to Explain the Charts. Today, September 11th, 2025, we're taking an in-depth look at Litecoin, LTCUSD, to understand the current market sentiment and what the charts are telling us. A lot has been happening in the Litecoin ecosystem, and we'll start by examining the most impactful news and events shaping its trajectory. The biggest news creating a buzz is the highly anticipated spot Litecoin ETF approval, with Bloomberg analysts projecting a significant 90% to 95% chance of approval by October 2025. This is a massive bullish catalyst, potentially unlocking hundreds of millions in institutional inflows, as seen with Bitcoin ETFs. We've also seen robust performance from the Grayscale Litecoin Trust, indicating growing institutional interest, which gained 16% in the last month and 45% over 3 months. On the institutional front, large wallets accumulated approximately 360,000 LTC between early June and mid-July 2024, signaling confidence. Furthermore, biotech firm MEI Pharma recently allocated over $100 million of Litecoin to its treasury, partnering with GSR Markets, solidifying its store of value potential. Adding to its utility, over 4,000 merchants globally now accept Litecoin, strengthening its role as a payment-focused cryptocurrency. However, it's not all smooth sailing. Social media sentiment remains somewhat subdued, and we've observed whale activity, with over 500,000 LTC dumped, posing a bearish near-term risk. Long-term holders, however, appear to be holding firm, suggesting underlying conviction despite short-term sell-offs. Upcoming, the LitVM mainnet launch in Q2 2026 is also a significant long-term bullish development, aiming to expand Litecoin's utility into DeFi with EVM-compatible smart contracts. Now, let's turn our attention to the charts, starting with the one-day time frame to get a macro view of LTCUSD's performance. Looking back from April 2024, Litecoin experienced a significant dip, bottoming out around the $56 to $60 range in early August 2024. This $56 to $60 area served as a crucial support level, initiating a strong recovery that extended into late 2024 and early 2025. We can identify historical resistance around the $80 to $85 mark, which, once decisively broken, flipped into a key support zone. A major rally occurred in November and December 2024, pushing prices from approximately $65 all the way up past $130. The peak of this rally saw LTCUSD reaching highs of $141.14 on January 17, 2025, and another strong push to $140 on February 19, 2025. Establishing these as significant resistance levels. Let's zoom in on a particularly interesting period, from late November 2024 to late January 2025, where LTCUSD saw a remarkable surge. This range shows the impressive momentum where Litecoin broke through several resistance levels, climbing from roughly $100 to over $140. This sustained uptrend was fueled by strong buying volume, reflecting increased market participation and confidence in Litecoin's prospects during that period. Following these peaks, Litecoin entered a consolidation phase, repeatedly testing the $100 to $105 range as support throughout February and March 2025. The 7-year symmetrical triangle accumulation zone mentioned in the news, particularly the $88 to $99 range, is clearly visible in the mid-2024 data, underpinning the subsequent strong rally. Current price action on the daily chart shows LTCUSD closing at $117.68 on September 10, 2025, indicating a strong recovery from recent lows. Shifting to the 1-hour chart, we get a more granular view of recent movements, specifically from August 22 to August 25, 2025. Within this short time frame, LTCUSD exhibited a slight bearish trend, moving from around $123 down to approximately $111. This hourly data captures the initial phase of a broader daily price drop observed around August 25, 2025, highlighting short-term volatility. The overall pattern here reflects lower highs and lower lows, characteristic of a localized downtrend before subsequent recoveries. Now, let's examine the most recent price action on the 15-minute chart, covering September 6th to September 10th, 2025. We can see Litecoin trading in a relatively tight channel, primarily oscillating between $111 and $115 for much of this period. However, a significant development occurred on September 10th, around 16:17 Universal Time Coordinated, where LTCUSD experienced a sharp spike, jumping from $114.58 to $117.23. This sudden increase directly aligns with the news regarding Canary's spot Litecoin ETF preparing for potential approval, demonstrating a clear market reaction to positive regulatory sentiment. The price continued its upward momentum, closing the 15-minute interval at $117.68 by the end of September 10th, pushing above the earlier mentioned $112 to $115 range. This indicates renewed bullish enthusiasm in the very short term, likely driven by the increased probability of an ETF approval. So, what's the overall outlook for Litecoin? Short term, the sentiment is cautiously bullish, primarily due to the immediate impact of ETF speculation and institutional accumulation. We anticipate continued volatility around key news releases, particularly leading up to the October 2025 SEC decision. Key resistance levels to watch are the $120 to $125 zone, followed by the previous highs of $130 and then $140 to $141. A breakout above $125 could quickly target these higher resistance levels, with analysts already predicting a decent chance of reaching $160 by March 2026. On the downside, critical support can be found at the $109 to $111 range, followed by the stronger $100 to $105 support zone. A sustained drop below $100 could signal a bearish reversal, potentially retesting the $85 to $90 area, especially if whale selling intensifies. Long-term, Litecoin remains fundamentally strong with increasing merchant adoption, institutional interest, and upcoming utility enhancements like the Litecoin mainnet in Q2 2026. The probability of hitting $160 by March 2026 is moderately high, perhaps around 65 to 70%, provided the spot ETF is approved as expected. If the ETF approval is delayed or denied, we could see a significant retest of the $100 support, possibly with a 30 to 35% likelihood. Keep a close eye on the October SEC deadline for the spot Litecoin ETF applications. This will be the most significant near-term catalyst for LTCUSD. Also, monitor Bitcoin's price action as its correlation with altcoins, including Litecoin, remains a crucial factor in overall market direction. Thank you for joining Explain the Charts for this in-depth analysis of LTCUSD, and we'll see you in the next video.